Hi, everyone. A very good evening to all of you. And today, let's meet Mr. Prakash. It's going to be a very interesting conversation on books. He's a coach, he's a mentor, and he's a best selling author. So, there'll be lots of food for thought for all of us and takeaways. So, in case if you would like to write down some important message from him or whatever that he's going to talk, it's going to be very interesting and a lot of learning. So let's all welcome Mr. Prakash on madhavisluxury.co.
Hi.
Hi, good evening, Mr.
Good
Prakash.
evening. Good
And
evening. How are
a
you?
warm welcome on madhavisluxury.co,
Thank
where
you.
luxury meets best-selling author, coach, and mentor, Mr. Prakash. So,
Thank
Mr. Prakash, we would love to know your journey and your story today. If you can tell us something about your life journey.
you. Okay, where do you want me to start? You want to go backward or you want to go forward from the time I graduated, stuff like that, or you want to go from the current assignment?
Like if you can tell us briefly about the past as well as present, future, however best you can tell us.
Yeah, I have about 34 years background in management and leadership. Way back in '83, I graduated out of University of Madras, and I was a gold medalist and a rank holder. I did my post graduation in commerce, and then I did a few postgraduate diplomas in marketing, sales, computer science, and all that. Surprisingly, when the world was elsewhere, I started my career as a software programmer in 84, 83, 84. And 1.5, 2 years, I was actually a software programmer writing decent code. In fact, I learned even those days what you call as the card punching or the mainframe programming, which many people may not even be aware today, the COBOL, Fortran, BASIC, Pascal, and stuff like that. After 1.5 years in the software coding line, I somehow felt that my heart was in meeting people. So I made a switch to sales line completely opposite. When I moved to sales line is when people actually started moving into software. 85, 86 when I moved out of IT, and in fact many of my friends used to make fun that I missed the bus, the IT bus. But normally I believe in following my passion and what was close to my heart. I started my career as a salesman in one of the computer companies, which is one of the top three in India, called
Wow.
ICO Computers. And slowly I climbed the ladder, and within a few years, I was heading the All India marketing team of a very large computer networking organization. And in
Wonderful.
92, I decided to start off on my own, which was my college dream to be on my own. Uh, since 92, I've been on my own. From 86, 87, I started as an in-house activity, training and coaching people in sales, communication, and things like that. So that became something which, as a parallel activity, when I started my business in '92, slowly that led me into the consulting space and things like that. In '98 is when I wrote my first book called "You Too Can Sell," which was ahead of its time because it was the first book which was completely based on audio tape format, where the entire world was going towards print books. I went and started coming out with the first book with audiobooks, audio tapes. And that book became quite famous, and Tata McGraw bought worldwide rights, and they republished the book
I
in
think
2000.
there is a sound.
Is it okay now? Is it fine? Hello?
Hear me.
I can hear you. Is it
The
okay?
audio thing. Yeah, please watch the audio. Sunita is saying. So I think there's a. So I think there is a network. So yeah.
You okay now?
Yes, Mr. Prakash. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Is it okay
Yeah,
now?
I can hear you.
Okay, fine. So
Yes.
I was talking about the book becoming very famous, and Tata McGraw bought the worldwide rights, and they republished the book in 2001. And by this time, I'd already met one of my friends who both of us decided to start off this consulting business in 2002, which is what keeping me busy these days. In the meanwhile, I've already released totally 10 books, and my 11th book is coming up for release shortly, which I was talking about, the spiritual CEO. So this is in short the journey. Of course, I have covered pan India, traveled across Asia for coaching, consulting assignments. I meet a lot of business leaders. We help organizations turn around from what they are to what they want to become. In a nutshell, this is what my journey is. Of course, I'm also an avid meditator. I have been meditating for more than 30 years. Maybe that's what brings the balance that I need in my professional career in terms of coaching, counseling people, and all that, and also keeping myself in a balance. So almost close to 30 years, I practice heartfulness meditation. So that's it in a nutshell. What my background.
Wonderful. It's really nice. And I would be asking you a few questions about
Yeah.
your different, so many accomplishments that you have done in your life and related to that. I hope you're able to hear me clearly and the audience can hear me very clearly.
I can hear you well. Thank you.
If you could be a little close to the network and speak a bit loudly so that we can hear you very clearly. There's a little this thing, but then I think yeah. So for the audience, I would like to just inform you that Mr. Prakash is an accomplished person on the academic, professional, management, and spiritual dimensions. He is a strategic thinker and has done extensive in the areas of nation building. His revolutionary work, well known as Glorious India, speak a lot of his visionary acumen. He is a gold medalist in his Graf's postgraduate in commerce from University of Madras and holds several professional diplomas in areas like marketing, computer science, sales, Six Sigma, NLP, and the like. So, Mr. Prakash, I would like to ask you the question that your work in the areas of nation building and about your revolutionary work, well known as Glorious India. What
Yeah.
exactly is that?
See, right from my college days, I was always fascinated by many of the all leaders I have met, come across. So it was my vision that I had to participate in some way in terms of building India. So way back in 2014, when the elections had been announced, somewhere in March 2014, it had already been boiling inside me in terms of thoughts and ideas and all that. And long ago, there was a book called The India That Was Glorious, long ago. When I read that book, I was sort of, in a way, it kindled, no, why should we be spoken in the past tense? The India that was glorious. So we should make it glorious again and bring it back. And for this, I had done research over a period of time, and then I presented it as a video paper in on 15th of March 2014 as a series of videos. By that time, the elections had been announced. Nobody knew who was going to become the next prime minister. And I had these videos which had a complete footprint in terms, or rather a blueprint in terms of what India should do. I had chosen about 15 areas, right from taxation to agriculture to education to science and technology to youth to sports, and given a complete blueprint on what should be done in each of these areas to make India glorious. It had
Wonderful.
reached PMO. I even got an acknowledgement. It had reached a lot of political leaders, a lot of press coverage which had been received. Subsequently, we started working with several government organizations, including state governments, in implementing some of these ideas. And many of these ideas, directly or indirectly, have found favor in several platforms. So that became a series of topic which culminated in being called as Glorious India. And we even now we have started doing a lot of work with some of the central ministries and state ministries and all that. So that passion is still there to make India really become truly a natural superpower, not just in terms of monetary or defense, but as a complete package, end to end. So that was the driving force behind this concept of glorious India.
I think the idea is that India should not be called कि किसी time पे सोने की चिड़िया था भारत, but it's also like even now, why cannot it be सोने की चिड़िया even now? That's what
Yes,
I can understand.
yes.
Beautiful. And to tell the audience on his professional work, he's well-known motivational and keynote speaker, an author having to his credit several best-selling books, Future Proof Your Business, Life Skills 101, Peaceful Parenting are some of his latest releases and audio releases. progressive consultant, a CEO coach, and an expert in turning around entertainment and movie concepts. So, Mr. Prakash, if you could brief us a bit about the books that you have written, all the three books that I mentioned,
Yeah.
a bit
The
about all these.
Yeah, the future-proof your business is based on the 2008 recession that the world went through. You remember 2008 was a very big recession, starting with the Lehman Brothers collapse and all that stuff which happened. And I had been studying for quite some time in terms of even in this recession period, it was found that there were certain organizations which are still growing, both worldwide and in India. So I had been studying all these organizations for close to 5 to 6 years. And then, based on the research, I wanted to share the success secret which I found were really worthwhile for all organizations to implement. And this I brought down into certain frameworks and concepts, which was published in the year 2016 as a book called Future Proof Your Business. By giving a book which not just given the theoretical framework, it also had practical tools, something that the organizations can use it themselves for them to check where they are on each of the parameter. And if they do well on these 16 parameters, and it will ensure that they can remain successful ever. Subsequently, this book was also translated in Tamil, and that book was launched by none other than the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu last year. And he said that this book has to be used, and it has to be quite. It's a quite useful tool. That is as far as the future-proof your business is concerned. I think you're on mute. I can't hear you.
Because yeah,
Yeah,
now
now,
it's unmuted. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So if you can tell a tip about any one tip about the future proof your business, any one tip.
The biggest tip I have seen is apart from the financials and inventory and stuff like that. The biggest tip I have in this book, where I've allocated almost 4 chapters, is for managing the people resources, the human resources. See, many organizations finally they all treat everybody just as a financial entry, a P&L or a balance sheet item, and they miss out on the most critical component, which is the human side of the organization, where ensuring that your current leadership crop is well taken care of. You have a very good succession planning, not just for the business owner succession itself, but even succession at each of the level at multiple levels, right from the mid level to the lower level. And then how do you groom leaders? What is the talent management that you have? How the big organizations worldwide have actually focused on talent. They actually takes people very seriously. Many of the successful organizations I found that beyond products, marketing strategies, and financials, they're extremely strong in managing the people resources. And this is what I
Right.
studied. I have felt it out in almost 4 chapters. I have uh, dived deep to manage that, and it really was appreciated by many people. So the key is just not the financials or the products or the services or the marketing or the R&D. It is to a great extent your people who finally matter. I remember that the former chairman or MD of HCL, Mr. Nair, used to mention, take care of your staff, they'll take care of your organization. You have to
Really profound tip to be given. Absolutely. And if you can tell something about life skills 101, any one skill out of those 101, because they're pretty. I mean, there's lots of them. So it's
yeah,
good to read the book. If you can tell
life,
any one.
Life Skill 101 is a culmination of my training journey. More than about 25, 30 years of training corporate organizations, helping them with the learning and development platform, helping them to devise the training programs to keep people updated, upskilling them and all that. There were many HR managers and top level CEOs, CXOs who asked if we can sort of make a manual which would help us to do it ourselves, like a do it yourself kit, DIY as they talk about. Life Skill 101, 101 in American parlance is like a beginner's guide. Life Skill 101 was written specifically keeping in mind the graduates, student who get out of college who are looking for placement, and also the freshers who are in any organization who are in the range of between 3 to 5 years. I had identified about 12 major skills that they have to be competent in, right from goal setting to planning to taking feedback to communication skills to problem solving to creative thinking to team building and things like that. Out of these 12 chapters, I wrote 12 major topics. I wrote totally 52 chapters, which are split into these 12 headings. And this was brought out as a book which can be used by any HR head to train the staff. Many of the organizations which bought these books in bulk, what they did is they just made the entire book into PPTs, and they ran their internal training program for 52 weeks. Every week there will be one topic that they take from the book, and then they run it internally, and then the people used to go back and practice, and then it almost like 1 year training kit you get in just one single book. And that is not something that many, specifically the organizations where we work with MSMEs and SMEs, they don't have budgets to spend on L&D and training and things like that. So this subsequently got translated in Hindi and Tamil and went on to become bestsellers in Hindi and Tamil as well. In Hindi, it became to be called as Kamyab Ki Udan. And in Tamil, of course, it had a South Indian Tamil name. And both these translated versions also went on to do extremely well.
Wonderful. And if you can tell a bit about the peaceful parenting, because all the three topics are very interesting topics. The second one, I'm surely going to recommend my children to read because they've just graduated from college, and the rest I'm going to read for sure, both the books, the other ones.
See, peaceful parenting. I myself, I'm a parent. I have a daughter who is 23 years old. She's doing a CPA now. When she started growing up, I had found many issues as a father, which we need to manage. And as part of my social outreach, which I do, Heartfulness Meditation, we meet a lot of organizations and help them to manage parents in their professional job. As part of that, when I met a lot of people, they were all talking about one biggest challenge that they have is the current changed scenario when it comes to parenting. Parenting is not what it was when maybe, I don't know, in 60s and 70s, the kids grew up on their own. All the parents did was to get them a school, and we were out of the school, got a job, got married, and things like that. With the current peer pressure really growing up, the role of parents has become multifold. They just can't just stay away. I remember that when we took our daughter for admission to the school, the first thing that the school asked, it was one of the premier schools in Chennai, they very clearly said that your wife cannot work. If she works, we can't give you admission to your daughter. So I asked them why. They said, we need your wife to be there to teach your daughter. If both of you work, it's not going to be possible for us to. And that was the time when things were changing completely. And if you also really look at some of the transformational shifts which are happened, I don't know if you have got a glimpse of what I've shared in that book. One of the transformational shifts I have talked in that book is the current generation of kids that we're dealing with are coming from a different paradigm. I don't know if you heard the word called indigo children by any chance. Have you heard the word indigo children? Indigo children are, yeah. If you really look at many of us, the last 50,000 years, how humans have grown, we all have a DNA stream inside of us, and the DNA predominantly is the dual strand. There are only two strands that go together. They found out that somewhere in the mid 90s, they found out that the DNA mutation in the current generation of millennials and then next as they found has happened. And many of the children actually come with more than two DNA strands open, which means they come from a completely different paradigm. How we see things, for us, almost the way we have been brought up, it's all either black or white. The current generation of kids, there is no black or white, it's all shades of gray. And when they see it as shades of gray, when I see it as black and white, there's a huge conflict. I remember many of the kids I have spoken to are all either part of my family or extended family or my friends' children. There are a couple of children who have dropped out of college to pursue different streams of study for 3 years, 4 years. And the parents used to call me to counsel them, why my child is jumping classes, he's going from arts to science to engineering to something else. When I speak to him, he said, I'm only experimenting with my life. What's the problem? Couple of years, I don't want to make a mistake. I want to check so that the rest of the life I can be peaceful. Whereas my parents are saying that you have to be sort of straitjacketed, as they say. Take this, do this, and go like that. That way of thinking is completely different from how we think. given a situation, how you think and how your children think is going to be different, it's obviously going to give a lot of conflicts. And
Right.
this is a big issue. And now, if you really look at the stakeholders, no more just the parents and the children. We also have the society, we have the teachers, we have the educational institutions, we have the government. And then you also have the institutions who are looking after the placement. So what happens is there are multiple stakeholders. Each is interested in that one single component called the child which is growing. And hence what happens is the piece goes for a fix from the time they get into school. And this book works on about 3 to 4 major frameworks and techniques in terms of how a person can bring up their children peacefully, allow them to express themselves completely, make them the best they can, not what you want them to be, what they are capable of. I mean, there is a famous quote that even Einstein had used only 7% of the capacity of his brain during his lifetime. And many of us
Right.
grow up in a situation where they don't get to express themselves because we tell them, do this, do that, get into engineering, get a job in Infosys or Wipro or whatever. By the time they turn around, they're married and it's all over. Whereas this generation, the way in which we look at life is completely different. And based on that experience, me and my wife found out that the best thing that we can do is to give a freedom to our daughter and support them from outside. So the peaceful parenting, one of the steps I share, become supportive parents, don't become controlling parents. Be part of the
Very,
journey, be supportive, give them the support, give them the input, give them the emotional comfort. They will go astray a little bit here and there. After all, when you experiment, you can't be on the straight path. As the famous quote of Robert Frost is, I came to a junction, there was a yoke, and I took the road less traveled, and it made all the difference. But when it comes to our children, we are not ready to allow that to happen. And this is something that this book expresses beautifully. I'm just giving you a gist of the book.
yeah, wonderful. I think a very nice tip that you have already given to all the parents. And so these are in different languages. All the books are in 2, 3 languages, or just some of them?
Peaceful parenting came only last December 2019. So subsequently, what has happened, lockdown and everything else. So even my current book, which is already ready, and I have already finished the script for my next book called Surviving Civilization Surge Ahead, which is meant for post-COVID, how the businesses should run. But the biggest challenge is that more than 40 to 50% of the bookstores all over India are literally shut off now. The businesses have gone down, and many of the publishers have said this is not the time to publish, you have to wait for some time. So the
Right.
translation for some of the books are happening, but will hit the market maybe at a later point of time. Normally, my way of writing is that I'm quite comfortable thinking and writing in English. So first, my first book normally comes in English, and then through the publication teams, the support and all that, they all get translated in multiple languages.
Right. So also these books are in the audio format. So and do you think story retains its flavor and charm if it's an audio mode as against the conventional book format?
Some of my books are in audio format, some of them are only in conventional format. But my next book, which is coming, is going to be both conventional and audio format. The spiritual CEO that I'm talking about, because it's written purely based on the mythological format. It's like typically you have a storyteller, like the Vikram Vedal, there is a
Okay.
storyteller and there is a person who's going to ask questions. And the storyteller is a person whose persona is called as corporate yogi, a person who has seen the best of spiritual side and the success of corporate life as well. And then he recites stories from mythological background like Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, and some of our famous Indian kings like Chandragupta Maurya and things like that. And then
Right.
the person who is asking the question is like a corporate CEO. So and then the whole thing goes like a story which is getting published as a book. And parallelly, this will also soon come out as an audio book. But some formats are not designed for audible or audio format. But some formats, for example, in 2006, I wrote back-to-back 2 books. The first book was purely on a topic called as self-talk. We all have the silent scripts which continuously run inside our head. We all talk to ourselves. Even as you are listening to me, even as the audience is listening to me, there are a lot of scripts which are running in the head. Some of them are positive, some of them are negative, some of them are just astray. It's all going astray. So this audiobook which I released way back in 2006 called Self-Talk 101 through the music industry was purely based on how you can program success of your life by just writing a few scripts based on certain situations. I had taken up about 45 situations in day-to-day life, right from weight loss to quitting smoking to controlling your diet, to be able to motivate yourself, to be able to manage your team, to be able to produce results in your corporate life. Like that, I'd taken about 40 topics and then written scripts. All that a person had to do was to listen to the scripts a few times a day till it becomes part of what we call the subconscious programming. And
Right.
that went on to become a very good hit through the music channel those times. But that format is not meant to be released as a regular print book. It's not possible. It's a typical script which a person has to plug in and listen.
Okay, great. And yeah, since you happen to be an expert in turning around entertainment and movie concepts, so any plans to convert your books into visual movie concept in near future, since it's already in the audio form?
See, the movie entertainment is a completely a vertical segment. There are two other segments that I do a lot of work with. One is the movie industry. Second is called as the pillars of mental mastery, which is predominantly with the sports industry. When it comes to the movie industry, right from my childhood, I was fascinated by who is not. I mean, in India, you grow up with entertainment, and movie stars are the heroes in your younger day life. You know, you see them. It's all like you tend to ape them in life. But at some point of time, when I was just about hitting end of my school, getting into college, my inquisitive mind took out to find what makes a movie click and what makes a movie to fail. And about 25 to 30 years, I have studied more than about 1,000 movies, both Indian and overseas, predominantly South Indian, a few Hindi movies as well. And then what I did is I developed a scientific tool. Say, rather, if you really look at the movie making today, the entire movie making today, how it works is based on emotions. I like Shah Rukh Khan, I'll sign him up. I hope that the movie will run well. I sell Rajinikanth, I hope it will run well. There is no science to it. And many times the movies, I had analyzed last 5 years of data, specifically if you take South Indian regional languages. I found out that almost 90% of the films which are made are flops. And per year, Tamil Nadu in Tamil industry alone, they spend about 2 to 3,000 crores in making movies. 2 to 3,000 crores. Lakhs of people depend on this industry. But nobody knows whether the movie will become successful or not. You put in 10 crores, 100 crores, 200 crores. If you're looking at a mega brand, if you are looking at Leica production, they put in 400 crores in a movie. And without knowing till the end. There was one famous example from the Mumbai industry. If you look at Three Idiots, what I think Ravi Khan did, which came out as a case study, after he made the movie, he called about 100, 200 of his friends and some of the critics. He played that movie and many of them tore that movie apart, saying it's a lousy movie. And he was ready to take that feedback. He went back and started reshooting. After 1 year, the movie came, it became a super hit. He
Yes.
decided saying that I will not listen to you and then release the movie, it made a fallen plan. What we did is I developed a framework called as movie appraisal system. And I already worked with about 5 or 6 directors in South. Right from the time of scripting stage to the time that the movie is made and released. At every level, what we did is we bring business intelligence to movie making. For example, if a very big brand, a toothpaste brand like Colgate or somebody is launching a product, will they make a product and launch it just because they like it? They will not do it. What they'll do, they'll go into the market, study what the market wants, find what are the current taste, what are the taste that they get into, what are the distribution channels, what is the kind of pricing, when should we actually release it, what kind of market will like, things like that. And this is exactly the thing that we bring into movie. And that has already become quite a bit, but it's still an evolving industry because movie industry still works on emotions. The other
True.
segment, yeah, the other segment I spoke about was about sports people. I have developed my own homegrown model called Pillars of Mental Mastery, where we put through the sports people through a 1 year rigorous mental conditioning program.
Right.
In
Yeah.
India, what is happening is that we borrow all these concepts from abroad, whereas these concepts were developed in India here, right here in our backyard. And we already implemented with a few sports people at a lower end, at the cricket and Ranji level and things like that, with a lot of good results. And this is something which is again a virgin area as far as India is concerned. It is still
Network issue. Yeah. Yeah. Please carry on. Yeah. I
yeah,
can hear you.
yeah. I thought you wanted to say something.
No, no.
So the
So,
carry on.
yeah. No, I think you please continue because you were saying something.
No, I was speaking about the mental conditioning program that we have developed. It has
Right.
it's like a pyramid model. You know, you take them through multiple levels till there is the pinnacle of the pyramid, the summit.
Mhm.
We put each of the sports people through this, and we have found out that surprisingly that there are applications for this even in corporate life, even in personal life, because finally people need to be emotionally balanced. They need to be mentally strong for them to be successful in life. See, when things were
True.
going fine, people are able to take it through. But when COVID hit us hard, not many people are able to manage. Everybody literally collapsed. Many organizations are actually going through a crisis of confidence. They are not going through a crisis of concept or strategy. They're going through a crisis of confidence. People stuck up in within doors, unable to move, is making them little bit tipsy, and it's almost like 4 months now. Though the new normal people are getting used, how many of us have been trained to be mentally tough? And these are things which are new to the corporate world, to the sports world as well. But sports world has adapted to it very early. But the corporate world is still taking their baby steps towards that. These are the two new concepts which are really gaining momentum, for which I can say that I can claim credit that we see change have done extensive work in getting these two concepts, Indian concepts, the movie appraisal system and the pillars of mental mastery.
Wonderful. That's awesome. And for the audience, some of his works for sports and corporate executives in mental conditioning areas are considered path-breaking. His blogs, tweets, and social media updates have extensive followers to the extent people look forward to his opinions on several topics of interest. So, Mr. Prakash, if you can mention any of your works with sports and corporate executives on mental conditioning, any one, you know, of
See,
your works.
yeah, these are still in private domain because the things are still evolving. We have been working only with select corporate clients and certain sports people. I haven't yet shared these concepts in the public domain yet. They are still evolving because we are working to find. It's like we are still in a R&D stage. A lot of work which has happened, showing a lot of progressive results in many of the areas for sports as well as corporate people. But when it comes to the consulting domain and turning around domain of organization, all my works are already out in the. See, if you go to YouTube, I have more than 700, 600, 600 to 700 videos on several management, self-development topics, health topics. I also blog a lot. I release a lot of videos on exercises, breathing, pranayam, self-healing concepts. Whatever I dive in deep and make it a specialty. I have written more than 1,000 blogs till now, more than 850 self-development articles. I write a lot on world affairs. I tweet a lot on current affairs as well. I have a huge following on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all put together could be about 35, 40,000 plus people who follow my thoughts and opinions. So there's a lot that happens. And in my view, I always keep saying, when you look at the year of birth and the year of death, finally, when you are put in your graveyard, there is only one hyphen which is put. Person born in this year, died this year, there's a hyphen in between. This hyphen is a very short hyphen which doesn't specify anything when it comes to tombstone. But I want to leave a legacy where people will say that this person was known for this. He left a legacy, he left his thoughts, he left his. See, each one of us, even whether you take any of the celebrities you would have interviewed, I've seen many of your wonderful interviews. Each one of them have a huge story to tell. Each one of them have a repository of information which will be successful. My guru used to tell me that we do not understand our own strength. We need to undervalue our strengths, and we think it's normal. For example, I lift 100 kgs, in bench press. For me, it will look very normal. For a person who can't even lift 20 kilos, that will be a very big achievement. And many of us don't even get basic Indian mentality that I haven't achieved much. What is there? Instead, what I suggest is go and share what you have. Even if you are good at about 10 recipes as a mom that you have developed, the world needs you. Share those
Very
recipes.
nice.
Some of the coronavirus, the Ayurvedic and Siddha medicines which are coming out because they were all written thousands of years ago. And somebody had transcribed and kept all of them safely. So this is my burning passion that I keep releasing at least one video every day. I write at least 2 articles every day average. And of course, my daily schedule is a little bit crazy if you want to hear. I wake up pretty early in the morning, what you would call as a Brahma Muhurtam. About 3:45 is when I normally get up. My day starts then. And then I do my exercises, my meditation, I write, I record my videos in the early in the morning, and then I write my blogs, and then my work with my clients. 99% of all my work is shifted to remote because of the travel restrictions. We can't, but the work cannot stop. All the coaching, consulting, everything is shifted to the virtual domain. And I also meditate a lot, so I conduct a lot of group meditation sessions with people who want to meditate. And I have my family now. Last 4 months, you have nothing else but your family all the time with you. We all so it's a God-given gift for you to get deeper into the relationship and all that. And by the time I hit the bed, it's about 10:30. In my day, I have added a little bit to contributing to the world to make it a more positive place, which I believe is what final spiritual routine is, to leave the world a better place than what you found it to be.
Must say, very inspiring and very motivational. And when I talk to people like you, I kind of feel that human potential is immense, and you're making the best use of the time. There is time management. That's why you're able to accomplish so many things in a day. So it's really truly inspiring, I must say. And for the audience, I would just like to tell you that he's the founder and CEO of Sea Change Consulting, based out of Chennai. And Sea Change specializes in helping some mid-cap companies to realize their cherished dreams and goals. He has helped countless such organizations, which turned out, a lot of these SMEs, I believe. So, if you can mention any one such organization which you have helped evolve in the
Quite a,
past.
quite a lot. We work in about 45 verticals. It's like asking a doctor who has performed 1,000 successful surgeries, which is the best surgery of your life.
Okay.
There are thousands and thousands you do, and it becomes a practice. Normally, what we do is we get into any organization, we find out where they are. We always believe that consulting is to take you from where you are to where you want to go to where you should go. Where you should go is your true potential. Where you are is your current potential. Many of the organizations we enter are typically doing 0.2x, 0.3x of their current potential. And they're very
Right.
happy with it, top line, bottom line wise. And once we get in the initial stages, we understand what they do. And then we give them a mirror. It's like any of the interactions, when you talk to me, I talk to you. We are like mirrors to each other. We see each other and then we see ourselves there. And if the picture that I see there is not to my liking, I can't blame the mirror. I have to clean myself, I have to shine myself to become something that the mirror will feel good reflecting. Like that, we make the organization to reflect about what they currently do, show their true potential. And normally, we take about 6 months to 1 year max to turn any organization to bring the best of their potential. And we develop systems and processes to internalize their success, so that at end of 1 year or 2 years or whatever period, we don't need to be there. One of the recent success stories that we are taking a very big concept in India, in the medical field, especially in the current time. A Chennai-based organization called CIPAC, who are into intensive critical care. They offer critical care at one-tenth the cost of what metro would charge for rural and semi-urban people who don't have access. The golden hour, 1 hour within which you have to be safe. Last 2 years,
Wow.
we have helped them to really grow big, and now they have more than about 600 beds across Tamil Nadu and Andhra and Telangana. We have helped them to devise and make it a perfect model. The idea is to make their model something like what Starbucks or McDonald's is, so that it becomes a franchise model. It's not for a name, I'm giving one name. But we have hundreds and hundreds of names. If anybody visits our site, peacefulworld.com, you can get the details of all the work we have done. We have done work in Vietnam, we have done work in Malaysia, in Singapore, in Sri Lanka. We have a pan Asia presence actually.
Wonderful.
Ma'am, you are in mute. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, as you just mentioned about meditation, I would like to tell the audience that he is an avid meditator and practices heartfulness meditation since 1992. He spends lots of time in propagating the benefits of heartfulness meditation and is the key secretary to the global teacher come guide of the heartfulness movement, a voluntary organization working towards helping people balance their internal and external lives through the process of heart based meditation. He is also the zonal coordinator of Heartfulness Institute Chennai, Metro Zone, and guides a team of 400 plus heartfulness trainees of hundreds of volunteers in taking the message of heartfulness across spectrum of seekers. So, Mr. Prakash, if you can tell any one benefit to the audience of heartfulness meditation, and what exactly is that?
Yeah. If I'll just ask you a question, would you know what is on 21st of September every year?
21st September.
Every year.
I know 19th September is my birthday. So, 20, sorry.
I'll remember the date and wish you on that day. 21st September is declared by UN as the International Day of Peace.
Right. Okay.
Every year, 21st September, UN celebrates, observes, and they do a lot of work because all that you finally are earning, all that material wealth, everything that you search, if you are not peaceful inside of yourself, what is the point? As a very famous English poet once said, what is the point in gaining the universe, finally you end up selling your soul? If I lose everything and if I gain everything but I lose my peace, it's of no consequence. So heartfulness meditation at a very entry level, brass tacks as you would say, teaches people to spend about half an hour to 40 minutes per day at their own leisure and find ways to go within and find a balance through which you can attain peace. World peace comes from inner peace, and inner peace is important. Say, for example, I have 1 billion. Say, in fact, I become richer than what Jeff Bezos today is, who owns apparently $170 billion net worth, and I still am unhappy in my life. I'd be wondering why all this money. But you would find somebody, you just, in any of the big cities, you step out of your balcony, you look at outside, you will find a tenement very, very, what you call the LIG or people from the lower income group. And you will find that they're extremely happy, though apparently they're not economically well off. Knowingly or unknowingly, they found a way to be peaceful inside. So at the lowest level, heartfulness meditation teaches people to be peaceful. Peace inside, peace outside. In interactions with myself. I am happy with myself, I am happy with you. When I become happy and peaceful, the biggest job in the world is done. When do I become avaricious? When do I chase people? When do I go into wars? When I am not happy with what I have. You look at the border conflicts, you look at the terror fights, you look at the fights between countries. They're not happy with what they have. So in fact, when I did that Glorious India initiative, I brought this as part of that. When you're talking about humanity index, human development index as part of any key indicator, which is the same work Amartya Sen had done, which got him the Nobel Prize. I had incorporated that as well. And heartfulness meditation, what we teach, which I have been personally practicing for 29 years now, is something that allows me at the lowest level to be peaceful. At the highest level, to realize my true potential by diving deep within. The ability to face myself, which for many of us is I can look glamorous, I can look beautiful, I can be very charming, I can be extremely persuasive in communication, people will be impressed. But when I can't face myself inside of myself, I still haven't won the game.
Yeah,
So this
true.
meditation process, what we teach others, helps us to teach to balance inside and outside, be peaceful inside, be peaceful outside. And it's like when you are sitting next to a air conditioner blower, you feel cold. To a person who is peaceful inside, you will feel that peace radiating. That's why when you meet sadgurus and people of high caliber, you feel a sense of peace. When you go to a temple, you feel peaceful. Why?
True.
Because
That's
there
right.
is an air of peace around you. That is something at the lowest level heartfulness meditation brings to people. At the lowest level. At the highest level, depending upon what they want to climb, they can look at God realization, self realization, whatever. It's like you start doing mathematics in first standard, you're happy with it, you stop. You want to go to 10th, you still can dive deeper. You go to PhD, you can still dive deeper. You want to do a postdoctoral, you still dive deeper. The subject remaining the same, peace being the initial stuff that you get. There are layers and layers of things that you can actually get yourself as you go deep. It's like music. You learn keynotes with
Right.
the seven ragas, seven rather swaras. You can dive deeper and do any kind of ragas, something like that.
It's wonderful. Really nice. And for all of you, Mr. Prakash blends well across a wide social spectrum and has an uncanny ability to connect to audience from across ethnicities and age groups. So, as you know, Mr. Prakash, the program is about Madhavi's Luxury.co. I would like to know the definition of luxury according to you.
In my view, it's a very interesting question, actually. If you really look at it, let me go back from the quality aspect, which I always like. For a person who's driving a Maruti 800, driving a Benz is a luxury. For a person who's driving a Cadillac, Benz is not a luxury. He needs maybe a limousine or a custom-made, a higher-end car for himself. So luxury is always that one step extra beyond what you are currently reaching. And by stretching yourself continuously, you're able to reach there. It's almost luxury, in my view, or defined as human excellence. I mean, you give a little bit of a stretch to where you are, stretch to the next level, you reach there, and then you stretch to the next level, you reach there. And then, like excellence, luxury is something that we keep allow people to expand. I remember the Conversations with God series by Neil MacDonald Nash. I don't know if you read those series of books. There, he has a conversation with God, and God, he asks a question to God: is it wrong to get money and wealth? God says that you are made to go and earn. There's absolutely nothing wrong in you earning wealth, but don't keep it to yourself. Give to people so that everyone becomes happy. So luxury that way
Wow.
is also something that you give it to everyone. And in my view, to start with, luxury is a state of mind. For a person who's standing
Beautiful.
continuously on 100 needles, like what maybe Bhishma was, put him in a normal bed will be like a luxury. For a person who is
True.
sleeping in a normal bed, shift him into a rose petal bed, which is a luxury. You keep redefining. You
Beautiful.
define luxury, you go ahead and reach. And that is the key element of human potential, what we are capable of. We are capable of making this world a much better place, a much more luxurious place, clean air, clean water, which has become a luxury these days. And that, in my
True.
view, is something that we can always search for. Luxury, in my view,
Yeah.
finally is the search within to make you better and better.
Beautiful. Very, very well said and expressed, I must say. And what would be your message to the audience for COVID-19?
I have shared at least about 8 videos on that through my channel, but I'll share it in one single sentence. For a person who fears, death comes every second. For a person who faces life, there is only one death at the final time when you go. In my view, in karmic view, which many of us Indians who believe, the exit date is already fixed. Don't keep dying in between. If you have to die
Beautiful.
at the age of 89, you will die at the age of 89, come what may. If you're going to die tomorrow, you will die. So do not fret about dying. Leave that to the maker. Let him worry about your exit date. No, I don't have to worry about a watch that I buy today. When will it stop running? That's the worry about the person who's made the watch. God is a watchmaker. He has made my life. He has made me to live in the best of His. Every person, if you read Christianity or Islam or Judaism or Buddhism, everywhere everyone says that man is made in the imprint of God. Would God have fear? So in COVID time, the best is that Take precautions, be sensible, don't do stupid things, maintain the social and physical distance, and whatever you do your basic exercises like pranayama, whatever is needed, but lead a fearless life. Life is to be lived,
Right.
not to be died every moment or every day. Face life,
True.
enjoy life, live it properly, express yourself. You are capable of becoming 100 times better than what you are currently today, irrespective of who you are. I'll end it with one single story of Bill Gates, if you have the time for
Sure.
that. Bill Gates
Yes,
had taken
please.
retirement about 8 years ago from active material life. He had at the time amassed a wealth of about $70 billion or so. And he quit,
Right.
he moved into regular life and all that. Grapevine has that subsequently met some mentor or a coach, someone like me or whoever. And he was having a conversation, and that person apparently told him, Bill, you need to get back to business. So Bill Gates apparently told him that, what is the point? Even if I keep spending $1 million a day, I still have money for enough life. He said, you have a potential to make your capitalization, your personal wealth, you can reach up to $1 trillion, which is $1,000 billion, which is about 15 times what the wealth of Bill Gates at that time was. So Bill Gates asked him, "Why should I actually earn $1 trillion? I already have 70 billion." Apparently, this person told him that when you reach $1 trillion, imagine the new opportunities, the new concepts, the new ideas, the new quality of living that you have brought to the world. How many more people you would have made as scientists? How many more people would have made as doctors? How many more people would have made as better sports people? And how many more wealthier people you would have made? By retiring, being what you are today, you are not allowing yourself to shine. Go ahead and shine.
True.
I mean, when you
True.
are, no point in hiding light under a bushel, as they say. Go out and shine.
True.
What comes, do they want to retain, give to others? It's their problem. The same message, what that person to Bill Gates is what I will tell each and everyone who is viewing today. I can close my eyes and say that you hardly scratch your potential in your life, whether you are a 4-year-old or a
Wow.
40-year-old or a 70-year-old. You have at least 100x to achieve more than what you have done, not just materially, in every facet of life. Go and give your best. Do not worry about the result. Let the maker take care. Effort is always ours. This is a life we have to express ourselves in full. Go ahead and do it. And I would really love to thank you for the opportunity you have given. If you have any parting words to say or a question to ask, I'm open.
True, beautiful, truly inspiring and motivational. I must say, it's been a great talk and a lot of food for thought and a lot of takeaway from Mr. Prakash right here with us. So, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure and honor hosting such a humble human being who continues to focus on the importance of individual, material, and global integration. It's been a great, conversation with you. Thank you so much for being here on the show.
And thank you for hosting me because you've done a wonderful job. You have downplayed yourself. I know your accomplishments. You have downplayed yourself. You have presented me very well. I must thank you for that. And I really thank
Thank
you for having
you.
me on the show. And I wish all the people who are watching it and who are going to watch the recording later the very best in their life. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Pleasure. Thank you. Have a great evening. Thanks. Hi, friends. I hope you enjoyed the wonderful conversation, and there was a lot of takeaway, very inspiring, truly motivational, and food for thought. So, as you know, the show is powered and supported by artists, real estate clients, fashion designers, jewelry designers, hospitality. My celebrity wedding designer from Milan, Italy, Angelo Garini, and I happen to be brand ambassador with Salma Sultan, Sari Sanskriti, Nora USA, international designer, Aisha Khanna. And any queries related to any of these segments, you can feel free and get in touch with me. Be it law, be it finance, be it weddings, anything. Everything is here under one roof. So look forward and have a great evening. Bye bye.